Well, hi guys. Today we're going to pull off the rocker arms and pull out the push rods. Whee! Yes, this thing has been floating around down the Titanic. It's kind of gross. The Titanic, kids, was a boat from a long time ago. It sunk like in 1912. So, you know, T. Swizzle hasn't written a song about it, and it's not been on the Twitters probably in some time. So, anyway, just so we're clearing in. Anyway, it's on the bottom of the ocean, hence the rust. Wink, wink. Hint, hint. Anyway, good seeing you guys. I miss you a little bit. Sometimes. You know, a little bit. You know, sometimes. I would say good morning. Or maybe I already said good morning. But it's morning for me. For Cadence, it's probably 10:30 at night. That's when she emailed me the other night to say that she was just starting on her homework. At 10:30. 10:30 at night. Jeez. You know, whatever. What time did you wake up? Or what time did you get up in the morning? Oh, 3 in the afternoon? Is that when morning is for you guys? I don't know. Whatever. People die in bed, my mom used to always say. It's kind of nice having the video going. I can just talk. When I talk to myself, it isn't as weird as when I'm just talking to myself, period. You know? All right. They all loose. The whole rocker assembly just lifts off as one piece. Voila. We'll set it off to the side. And then pull out these disgusting looking push rods. Can you see those? Aren't those gross? Now wait, kids, this is a V8. Okay. How many push rods should there be? Don't do your math. Do your math in your head. Don't do it on a calculator. Wait, where's my iPhone 12 PRQ? Where's the calculator? You gotta swipe up and down and down. Is it up and up? I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, it's 16, kids, because there's 2 valves per cylinder on these engines, correct? Correct, Mr. Groom. Ugh. Not sure what's grosser, the emulsion or the fact that the rust gets under your finger. Ugh, the rust feels dirty and you. Oh, this is the thing I miss. And you get these kids, usually a boy, that gets all, oh, Mr. Groove, I got gooey on my hands. Unlike the girls are just like, yeah, it's gross, but I like it. Okay? Just about loose, fellas. All right, there she comes. This one had a little more spring tension on it because a couple of the valves were being pushed down. So now the spring was pushing back against the rocker arm. So as I loosened the bolt actually seemed to get a little, well, didn't really get any looser for a while. That's because the spring was still putting pressure on it if I backed it off far enough. Okay? Now, pull it out, come on. Come on, you can do it. Seriously, I really like it. Maybe I'll just film myself all the time. Like that crazy person who lives down the road who just talks to themselves. But no, it's a video. Huh. You can't talk to me about my video. Or the people that walk around with their dumb Bluetooth in, talking to themselves. No, it's really, I'm talking to somebody else. Sure you are. Now, I'm going to bring you over here and we'll peer down into things. Yeah, solvent. Nice. So, viewing from above. Ooh, all right. They're call those the, come on, adjust the camera. There you go. You can do it. So here are the valves, obviously. And then down there is where the lifters sit down under there. The lifters are what pushes up the push rods. Okay, if you come back out here, this is the exhaust manifold. This is the exhausts. That means these guys are exhausts. These two are the exhausts for these 2 adjacent cylinders. This is an intake, this is an intake, and you can follow it down from number 3, comes down through there into this valve and down the cylinder. Here's number 1 intake, and then over here, number 1 exhaust. Okay? More details and more information later on. Yeah, I'm a terrible camera operator. Get over it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and pull out the distributor at this point. So this little bolt here is what holds the distributor into the block. very good way to get a socket in here, so you kind of have to use a end wrench. Remember, kids, why do we use the box end and not the open end so we don't round the corners of the bolts off, right? So when you're breaking one loose or you're tightening it, it's important that you use the box end, not the open end. Right? Again, this little piece just comes around it and grips around the bottom of the distributor. Now we should be able to just pull it out of there. Boop! There she comes. Okay, the R she blows. This piece here on the bottom hooks into, down in there, a little piece that hooks on, that hooks into a piece that runs into a gear that runs off of the cam. Okay, so this thing is timed to the cam. Remember, the camshaft spins half as fast as the crankshaft does, and so the distributor spins the exact same fast as the camshaft does. Okay. So inside we have, this is what is this piece right here is part of the electronic ignition system. This piece right here is the actual rotor, we call it. So it takes and it sends power from up here on the top of the coil. This is where it goes to the coil wire. It comes down through here to the top of this connector piece, out to the front end here, and then that touches out here, and these caps are then connected with wires out to each of the spark plug holes. Okay, so we'll set that off to the side. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull the intake manifold off. I'll probably do this in fast motion for you through the magic of TV. I'll cut this piece out, probably, or not. I don't know. We'll see. Ooh, fun. We'll take that little piece off. Good job. Good job, Dopey. That piece out of the way. Okay. Now this piece right here, hope you can see that. Let's make sure we can see that. Oh, no, it's as close as I can get. So this piece right here is referred to, this is the EGR, exhaust gas recirculation. It started to become a thing back in the late 70s, early 80s. So we're going to be taking some gas from these two cylinders right here and from this side over here as well. Okay, those, when the cart needs it, and we'll talk about when that happens, there's going to be vacuum pulled on this guy right here. When this vacuum pulls on this, we're going to see that that's going to suck this little vent open inside, a little valve open, and we're going to introduce some exhaust gas into the intake manifold. Okay. For reasons that we'll talk more about later on, basically it was helpful for emissions, and it's also helpful for It was basically designed for emissions purposes. So we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go along. Okay. So it's kind of in the way of one of our intake bolts. I'm going to take it off right now. I'm going to do an extra little video I'll clip in here in a second too, where we talk about, remember we talked about this, where that choke was yesterday. It is sitting right underneath of where that exhaust pipe crossover goes. Okay, and that, well, will help heat up that choke faster to make it turn off. The choke that the carburetor that was actually on this vehicle, that one is as I say, just a regular mechanical one. It gets hot. As it gets hot, that spring changes and pulls the choke off. Just did 2 of them recently. I've been working on more carburetors this week than I shake a stick at, that are electrical. That is, they get hot, a little wire in there, a little piece in there. There's an actual heating element that heats up as time goes on. And as it gets hot enough, it'll actually pull that carburetor choke off. Okay? Same principle, just a different way of doing it. Okay? So here we are again. This thing is clear full of solvent, so the solvent made it all the way up into this piece, which is kind of cool, I guess. But there we go. Bend this little tab of gasket out of our way, and we'll get the last intake bolt off. It was hiding behind it. Okay. All of our bolts should be loose, and now we can just pull them out. Hey, look at my back. What do you think, guys? No. Yeah, I'm not the greatest filmer in the world. Sorry, fire me. Please fire me. I want to go fishing. Yeah, that's what it is, I guess. So how you doing? Having fun? Uh-huh. Sure. In a few minutes, I'll also get you a shot down in the hole, and you can actually see where the distributor is, where the distributor gear is down there, and where it runs on the camshaft. Kind of a neat deal to see. I can't focus with this camera, so I'll be posting that in with my camera phone. Just does a better job. It's not as good as, like, say, Caitlin's iPhone 12 PRQ5W with the 87 frontward facing camera on it. Not like that. Don't get ridiculous. Because, you know, most engines don't need to take selfies of themselves. And so, yeah. So, where did my end wrench go? You know, it'd be nice if people would quit running off my tools. Out of my pocket. Where did I do? Oh, it's right there, stupid. There you go. Nice. I'm going to take this off as well. This is another emissions component where it would introduce air into the exhaust, for emissions. So take it off of the intake, or the exhaust manifold. Nice. A few extra little doodads. Set them off to the side. And then one more big little bracket here, which is kind of in my way. Then we'll go ahead and pull the intake manifold off, and we'll give you a look inside. There we go. Alrighty. Are you ready? Are you ready? Little tappy. Little tappy. Get up under of it. Just gotta find a spot where we can get under it. There we go. Oop, there she comes. Did you hear it? Nice. Now I cleaned this off pretty good, but there's still some yuck in here. So I'm trying to keep some of that from falling into the engine as much as I can. Because, you know, the engine is so clean, Mr. Groom. Now, this particular engine, this whole engine is cast iron. So it weighs like 1,000,000 pounds. That's not true. The whole thing together probably weighs 650 pounds, maybe 700. I don't know. I haven't looked it up. Somebody will go, no, Mr. Groom, I giggled it, and it said on, you know, it's actually 500 and something. Okay, whatever. It weighs a lot. Okay? And so, because it weighs a ton, like this intake, which is not small, it's not a small piece of it, is also going to weigh, you know, a lot. If I can get this clamp to stay clamped, it would be nice. Get in a little tighter. I really do like filming myself. You know why? Again, I feel like I can talk to myself without people thinking I'm a nut. It's so much nicer. I mean, I talk to myself all the time, but you worry about what people think. Actually, that's not true. I don't care what people think. You should try it sometime. It's really freeing not caring what people think of you. You know what, this hose is no good anyways, so I'm going to cut it. So I'm tired of fooling around. I was going to take the clamp off, but the hose isn't any good anyway, so. There we go. Cool. Now, are you ready? Let's zoom in for the big pick. Oh, there it is. Here it comes. Are we ready? Oh, goodness, that sucker's heavy. Okay, so I will, notice there's a little silicone. Whee! So, typically what most people do when they build an engine, okay, is they'll put silicone on the front. Here we are. This is the front up here. They'll put on the front wall here and on the back wall here. A lot of guys always refer to these as China walls. Chevy is a little more pronounced, but whatever. They'll run caulking along here and along back here. The purpose of that being is so that it helps to keep the oil in and the dirt out. Okay. If you look inside this thing, we'll get some close-up shots here in a minute with my digital camera, with my little camera, so you can see the lifter valley looks good. Our cam has seen better days. It's got some rust spots on it, but it doesn't look too bad. And we'll look at it in there some more. Heads will be the next thing that, well, the exhaust manifolds will be the next thing that come off. It's these guys, of course, on the side here. Okay, we'll take both of those off. Go ahead and take this little deal off here in a minute for the oil pressure senders. And then we'll get the heads off. Probably go ahead and shoot that video again today. I'll just put it out a little bit at a time. Again, this whole thing weighs a lot. And so as we're doing these, just be aware of that. We're going to take it apart a little at a time. Man, there's a lot of goop in there. Okay? Overall, I'd say we could probably make this girl run again if we could get it to break loose and spin. I feel pretty good about it. I guess the real true test will be what happens when we see what's going on in the cylinders. So, all right, stay tuned. Episode 15. What will Mr. Groom discover today? I don't know. Let's see if we can get that to focus a little more betterish. Ooh, say that's nice. So I'm going to pull the exhaust manifolds off at this point. This thing has some weird little tin on it that was put on to protect you from getting your widow fenders burned off when you were running this machinery. This whole engine was exposed and out where the adoring public could look at it and see what's going on and maybe wanted to touch things. And I think one of the, you hippie, one of their adjustments was down right by where this piece of tin was. And there's one on the other side as well. So I think there's a couple of adjustments they might have had. And so they put these pieces of tin on there to protect so they wouldn't get sued, more than likely, I'm guessing. You know how it is. We wouldn't want to get sued because, you know, hey, we touched a hot manifold and it hurted my fenders, you bad guy. Oh, I'm sorry, I went into ridiculous mode there. You hippie. Well, I'll come back to him, friends. I will do that off camera. I think it can require some swearing, so we'll do that off camera. Get the other ones loosened up. Okay. Oh, don't you come out yet. I don't want you to come out yet. You stay in there, sir. All right, we'll do the rest of those off camera. And we'll come back for the unveiling. The tin on this side is behaving a little better. Oops. Oh, I said it was. Okay, we'll pause you while I swear at it. Alrighty then. Swearing is over and got it to come loose. Okay. Well, I said I did. They're loose. I just can't get my finger on it. There we go. Some of these you'll see in a second are bolts, and a couple of them are studs. We'll talk about the difference. Well, I think I mentioned that in our classes when we talked about fasteners. So a stud, this is also cast iron. By the way, this is also not terribly light. It's not real heavy either. It's not terribly light. When I was a kid growing up on a farm, we used to do this. Put our manifolds on upside down. You could do this on a Chevy and a Ford. I'm not sure. I've never tried it on a Dodge. Will it bolt on? See the holes line? They don't line up. Stupid Dodge. Anyway, sorry I had to do that. You guys out in the fields, you'd light your wheat fields on fire if you had the exhaust coming out underneath the vehicle. So we turned it around so the exhaust came out, and then we blew it up in the air. It was quite cool. Well, it was a neat looking thing to do, I guess. Because they would actually bolt on upside down. Whatever. All the fun, the joy of back in the day farming. You know what I don't miss sometimes? Well, I still like getting up early, but I don't miss the working 14 hours a day routine every day. Go. Let's see, where's my ratchet? But it's in my pocket. That one's already loose. And this one, here she comes. All right. Now, here is the other one. Okay, this one here has a flapper here. This was part of the deal where it would, see that little flapper right there? That would just flop open. That was a deal that helped things heat up a little better. I don't remember the exact reason that was put on. They were on some of those back in the older vehicles. All right, I'll finish this up with a review with my camera phone so you can see a little more up close and personal. All right, so as you can see, I'm using this. Ooh, focus. I'm just using a regular socket on an extension with a breaker bar here. I'm just going to go ahead and break them all loose, I guess, first. Okay. Could just bust them all out with the impact. Maybe I will. Yeah, I think I will. Except for this one on this side, which is, again, buried. I have to get the middle ones off with the breaker bar. I will buzz the rest of them out with the impact. Okay, so where are we sitting? Can you see us? You can't see me. Let's back up. Oh, all right. All right, so there we are. Great. Good shooting, Jay. In your next life, you should be a Hollywood videographer. Yes, indeed. And maybe turn it up a little higher. Are you kidding me? I have to do all the work myself. Oh, that's terrible. Well, I'll break them all loose and I'll just run them out with the impact. That's fine. Look at that. Man is stronger than machine. Man is machine. Saw part of Rocky IV the other day. He is not a machine. You should look it up. Good movie. Ivan Drago from the Soviet Union versus Rocky Balboa, the Italian stallion. And his wife Adrian. And it's a funny thing because he ends up marrying the chick who played Ivan Drago's wife in the movie. Wife, girlfriend, manager, whatever she was, I don't remember. Kind of weird, whatever. That's how you know you're bored. I know, let's watch a movie from 1980, whatever it was. Boy, I'm an animal now. I broke those ones loose. I broke that one loose too. Ah, yes, they're all broken loose. Cool. So now they're all loose. I think I'll just run them all out with the impact real fast. Make my life a little bit easier. Of course. Come on. Mr. Groom, you can't even run an impact. Nope, sure can't. You should quit teaching, probably. Hurtful, but probably true. Thank God for you. Spin the time up 2 times as fast, and you can watch twice as much videos of people playing dumb video games. It's like we're watching Mechanic. What are you watching in there, Johnny? Mechanic Simulator. My guy is Mr. Groom. Alright, anywho, here we are. Now pay attention to the bolts. The lengths of these bolts are oftentimes different. So you can see we got longer ones and shorter ones. The longer ones go on the top row. Make sure you make a note of that. Whoa! Well, super duper long one. Medium long one. Medium long one. Medium long one. Super duper long one went right here. I'm going to make a note of that somewhere. Okay? Ditto on the other side. Why is that one so much longer? That's a good question, because that one wasn't. Mr. Green, why isn't that super heavy head falling on your foot? Oops. So that's a super duper long one. So the super duper long one is over there and over there. Interesting. Okay? So this will not fall off because it sits on there's 2 little pegs it sits on, plus it's attached very well with its gasket. I'm going to put this right here, give it a little oomph. Ah! Oh! Oh, it's heavy. Oh, mama, that's heavy. Whee! Now you can see all of the solvent that fell out. That's going to happen on this side as well. Try to keep it from getting all over my feet. Well, just a little tappy, tappy, tappy. Come on, come on. You can do it. You can do it. You know, it would be so much easier if I had one of you here to give it the little tappy, tappy. And of course, while staying socially distant, while you're doing it, of course. You give it a little tappy, tappy, tappy. There she comes. Oh, heavy, heavy, heavy. All right, I will get you an up close and personal view of the cylinders in just a minute so you can see the carnage that's happening inside. Woo! That was brutal. You didn't even get to see me struggle that much because the camera turned a little bit. All right, well, good enough. All right, so you can see there inside the cylinders I have a bunch of I've put in a bunch of solvent. And you can see there's a little bit of rust. This side maybe is not as bad as the other side. We'll see in a minute. There is some, of course, up here on the walls. That pretty much will come off, I think. It's a matter of if we can break everything loose, I think we can get this engine running again. I really do. This one's probably the worst of the bunch. And this one here is kind of gross too. Interestingly enough, you're like, whoa, what was that? Well, that's the gasket, Mr. Groom. So, if you look at this cylinder here, I believe it's this one and this one. Maybe it's this one and this one. I think it's this one and this one. Had cylinders that were, valves that were open and allowed water to get in. That is, their intake valves were open. So, we'll see what happens here in a minute. We will be taking this engine apart. I really, truly think I can get this engine running again. It's not such a bad case. That's not necessarily saying I'd want it in my daily driver, but I'm not sure that it would scare me off to put it in my daily driver either. So we'll get it running. I have fairly good confidence in that now. Here's the underside of what the heads look like. There's our valves. You can see this one's got some rust in it. It was probably open. So was that one. You can see that valve is a little stuck open. We'll probably have to do a little bit of work on him. We'll have to lap all the valves. And this head over here looks a lot better. This is the one off the driver's side.
That's all, folks.